Adoption therapy, session 5. 5? 4. I'm racing ahead of myself. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. These were my opening sort of words to my therapist today. And I realised that these are probably those core beliefs that have fed my hypervigilance, my anxiety issues and disorders, or the anxiety disorders, because they're not just mine. And it was really hard to say, but it's been that sentence, I'm not enough, and I'm alone, has been with me since our last session. And in some situations I find I'm looking for evidence of that. And then I don't like how nervous and insecure I become. To say out loud I'm not enough, when everything in the well-being world tells us that we have to believe that we are enough, isn't always easy. But I wanted to make that statement. I wanted to demonstrate how deeply those thoughts have affected me throughout my whole life. And we talked about how I've had to carry the load. I have carried the worries of the world on my shoulders since I was tiny. Because I feared for other people's safety. I feared for my adoptive parents' safety. I feared for my own safety. I would cry if I saw somebody with a disability, because especially if they were trying hard to get by on their own and no one was helping them. I couldn't understand it. My therapist asked me where I felt it when I said, I'm not enough. And it's easy to say it to you, but if you were a person, if I could see a person on the other side of this talking back at me like my therapist, it really brought up all the emotions that went with it. And she said to me, where are you feeling this in your body? What does it look like? What does it feel like? And I realised that it felt like giant hands around my rib cage, crushing, pushing in, holding me in, but squashing me, not holding me in a safe way. It was with the threat of just crushing me. And I recognised that sensation was quite often the feelings I had when I had panic disorder. So when I was having panic attacks, or if I was just feeling anxious, I would be aware of those claws or hands around my rib cage all the time, 24/7, whenever I was conscious. Sometimes I could feel it almost in my sleep. I'd be aware because I wasn't sleeping very deeply. So today my statement was, I'm not enough. And today we begin the work on changing that narrative, changing that belief, releasing all the pain, recognizing the pain, recognizing that statement. And she allows me this space just to be. I don't feel like I've got to excuse myself. I don't have to say, oh, I'm really sorry. I actually can indulge that feeling and acknowledge it. That now I will always recognize exactly what it is, exactly where a lot of my past fears came from. And the fears that I feel to some degree are still holding me back. So that was the main thing about today.